You can take a guy like Canelo. This guy can do. He can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Cakewalk. Easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude.
You can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather has once again stirred the boxing world by calling out Terence Crawford immediately after Canelo Alvarez's latest fight. Known for his unmatched confidence and flawless record, Mayweather made it clear that he is ready to step back into the ring for another high-stakes showdown. Fans and analysts are buzzing about the possibility of Mayweather facing Crawford, who is widely regarded as one of the most formidable pound-for-pound fighters in the sport. The anticipation is building, and the tension is undeniable.
Let me ask you though, Canelo this week actually said something interesting. He goes like Crawford's a better fighter than Mayweather. Do you agree with that? Do you feel like he is?
I think he's more all-rounded in some ways, but Mayweather was so good at certain things that made him impossible to beat. He really stuck to his niche of style, where Crawford kind of tries to fight the more honest, I guess, exciting, traditional way, being there, just moving out the way, landing the shot, where Mayweather would have you dancing around him and chasing him and falling short and falling in and countering the life out of you, and knew and understood 10-9 rounds better than anyone else. You only have to win 7, 10-9 rounds clear, and you've won the fight as long as you don't get put down. And obviously he never really got put down. I know there's a few question marks, but for all intents and purposes, never got put down, and he was the best, one of the best to ever do it. It's very hard to go a whole career undefeated.
He actually said something interesting. He said that Crawford is a better fighter than Mayweather. Do you believe that? Do you agree with it? I think Crawford is more well-rounded in some ways, but Mayweather was so good at certain things that he became almost impossible to beat. He mastered his unique style, while Crawford tended to fight in a more honest and exciting traditional way, standing in range, slipping shots, and landing clean punches. Mayweather, on the other hand, would have you chasing him, falling short, walking into counters, and being completely frustrated. He also understood the scoring system better than anyone else. You only need to win 7 rounds clearly by 10-9 to win the fight, as long as you don't get knocked down. And Mayweather almost never went down. There may be a few question marks, but for all intents and purposes, he stayed on his feet and protected his record. He was one of the very best to ever do it, and going an entire career undefeated is incredibly.
What did you think of the fight?
Man, I loved it, man. I loved the fight, man. I love the fight. I did not know how it was going to go. I didn't think the weight was going to be a problem for Terence Crawford. I'm on record saying I didn't think it was going to be a problem. But it stood to be seen. It needed to be seen. And I knew we would have known after the first, second, or third round. You feel what I'm saying? And when I seen how Canelo was respecting his jab and how Canelo was respecting his power from the very beginning, I knew how it was going to go. And I knew that Bud was only going to get stronger and get bolder and, start to wear him down, because Canelo is known to start to wear a little bit in the later round.
Everyone said that Crawford was not going to exchange tonight, and he traded with Canelo up close.
Man, Bud is the best, man. Bud is the best. I've been on wax saying that, Bud. I've been on wax saying that for a couple of years now. I bet against Bud on Spence. I bet against Bud on Porter. I didn't think that Bud was the best. I got to give it to him. Bud the best, but he's hands down. He's the best. He's the best right now. I don't think nobody need to question him no more. I mean, you kind of got to give him respect no matter what. You got to give him respect. He just went up 2 weight classes where people said he couldn't do. He's doing everything that people say he can't do, and he is doing it with ease.
Break,
you got to respect that.
Break it down for me. How did he win that fight in the way he won it tonight?
He won the fight by gaining Canelo's respect. I think he was already in Canelo's head a little bit. I think that even though Canelo knew he was smaller and everything else, these fighters are still humans, and they hear what the people are saying. Canelo was, not Canelo, Crawford was undefeated. Look at what he did to Spence. I mean, look at what he's doing to some of these people. So no matter what, I mean, you have to take that into consideration.
Terence Crawford shocked the boxing world once again, outclassing Canelo Alvarez in Las Vegas to remain undefeated and capture the undisputed super middleweight crown. Under the bright lights at Allegiant Stadium on September 13th, 2025, Crawford jumped up 2 weight classes and still looked in complete control. Canelo, bigger and stronger on paper, never found a way to break through. Crawford's slick footwork, sharp combinations, and ring IQ kept him a step ahead all night, proving why many now call him the best pound-for-pound fighter.
Check this out, guys. Floyd Mayweather just shared on social media that he bet $50,000 on Crawford to win, and he won $75,000 back. So Crawford made Mayweather $74,000. Most people that I talked to were betting on Canelo. A few people bet on Crawford. How much money did you win on Crawford? $200 here, $200 there. But most people that I know bet on Canelo. And we'll hear from Canelo. We're going to hear from Crawford. And I'll keep you guys posted. But right now, Floyd Mayweather bet on Crawford and make some money. What do you want to see Crawford do next? What do you want to see Canelo do next? Let me know. Definitely interesting developments here tonight. When I watched the fight live, I thought Canelo won. I think Canelo won. I have to watch it again, but with no audio because I know the broadcasters were all against Canelo. They were all against him all week from the rivals. So I don't expect anything different.
For this fight, Floyd Mayweather Jr. put his money on Terence Crawford, trusting his skills to overcome Canelo Alvarez. Despite Crawford entering the bout as the underdog, Mayweather wagered $50, 0-0-0 on him to win straight up at plus 148 odds. When Crawford secured a unanimous decision victory, Mayweather's bet paid off with a return of $124, 0-0-0. The move not only underscored Mayweather's confidence in Crawford's abilities, but also reflected his sharp insight into the sport's dynamic.
Right now, in your opinion, who's the best fighter in the world?
We can put Tank up there in the top 10 in pound for pound. He has to be somewhere in pound for pound. And Canelo done something that is amazing when Canelo was able to go to light heavyweight and become light heavyweight champion. Something that I didn't even see him going up that heavy, and he did that. So, but as of right now, I have to put Terence Crawford as number 1.
Crawford.
Mayweather just shared on social media that he bet $50, 0-0-0 on Terence Crawford to win, and walked away with $74, 0-0-0 in profit. Most people I talked to were betting on Canelo, with only a few putting money on Crawford. Some threw down a couple hundred here and there, but the majority backed Canelo. We'll be hearing from both Canelo and Crawford soon, and I'll keep you posted. For now, the headline is simple: Floyd money. Mayweather believed in Crawford and made money doing it. The big question now is what's next? Who should Crawford fight after this career-defining win? And where does Canelo go from here? Let me know what you think. I'll be honest, watching the fight live, I thought Canelo won. I need to rewatch it without commentary, since the broadcasters were clearly against him all week and during the fight. But regardless of opinion on the scoring, one thing is clear. Mayweather has planted his flag in the pound-for-pound debate. He's declared Terence Crawford the best fighter in the world today, praising his discipline, skill set, and dominance across multiple weight classes. For Mayweather, pound-for-pound greatness isn't just about collecting titles. It's about consistently proving superiority over the toughest opponents. And in his eyes, Crawford has done exactly that. By defeating elite champions and staying undefeated, Crawford has cemented himself as the man to beat in modern.
How you is, you be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, was, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever, keep it real, boss. Keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. I always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fight. Yeah. I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
Boy, you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, I'll beat his ass. Never. That's some hating type shit to me.
Like plotting.
I ain't never been that type of person ever.
Crawford has also admired Mayweather's approach to boxing. Not just his skills in the ring, but the way he manages career and legacy. Over time, this admiration turned into a real connection between the two. Crawford has often received small tips and advice from Mayweather, which he takes seriously. He doesn't just hear the advice, he applies it. Their relationship reflects a deeper bond based on ambition, legacy, and shared understanding of what it takes to become truly great.
TV right here in the middle.
Yeah.
Champ, first off, I want to thank you for the illustrious career that you have given us in the game. You've been a steadfast professional in the way that you conducted yourself, and I want to thank you on behalf of all of the boxing media.
Thank you, sir.
Number
It's my
two,
pleasure.
Champ, I wanted to ask you, this was a fight that we haven't seen from you before. We've never seen you have the sustained and prolonged frustration during the fight. Was there a point in time where you figured that this just wasn't going to be my night? And if you did, when did that happen?
No, I never thought that. I always try. All the rounds I try, but you need to accept it, right? Sometimes you cannot go, and I try all the rounds. I never think about that because imagine. So I cannot think in that way, but I try my best tonight.
And lastly for me, Champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Crawford has long admired Mayweather's approach to boxing, not only his brilliance inside the ring, but also the way he managed his career and built his legacy. Over time, that admiration has developed into a genuine connection between the two. Mayweather has shared small pieces of advice with Crawford, and Crawford doesn't just listen, he applies them. Their relationship reflects a deeper bond rooted in ambition, legacy, and a shared understanding of what it takes to achieve greatness.
Also, if we remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience, and he still took him, into deep waters. So
what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah,
to a man that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people.
How are you at the top of your career in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, it showed, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
Want to
make himself look like he did something great.
After Canelo Alvarez claimed that Terence Crawford is far better than Floyd Mayweather, Jeff Mayweather, Floyd's uncle, fired back with a critical response. He suggested that Canelo's remarks were a strategic attempt to elevate Crawford's standing, making his own loss to Crawford seem more respectable. Jeff pushed back on the idea that Floyd was in his prime when he fought Canelo, insisting that Canelo was the one in peak form at the time of their matchup. He also challenged a comparison of defensive skills, arguing that while Crawford is undeniably talented, Floyd's defensive mastery remains
The Floyd Mayweather that Canelo Alvarez fought.
Yeah.
In the last version of Terence Crawford that we've seen in the ring.
Yeah.
Who's the better fighter, Jay?
Of course you got to give it to Floyd. Floyd at that time, Ben, what's up? Floyd at that time versus Canelo was in total confidence. His skill set, his IQ, you know what I'm saying? Everything he do, he was just a complete fighter that night. Bud, I feel like was up against a lot because he was fighting a guy that we knew something about, but we ain't know too much about. People don't understand how much a fighter could be thrown off by what he don't know. And the reason it throws you off is because you're actually learning about the fighter while you're in there. That's what Bud went up against that night. That's why he didn't look so great to me.
Trainer Greg Hackett has entered the debate over Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Terence Crawford, firmly stating that Mayweather remains a superior fighter. While he acknowledged Crawford's impressive victory over Canelo Alvarez, Hackett argued that Mayweather's defensive brilliance and unmatched ring IQ put him on another level. Hackett praised Crawford's skill set, but stressed that Mayweather's undefeated record and dominance across multiple weight divisions secure his place above Crawford in the all-time rankings. His comments underscore the ongoing conversation within the boxing world about who truly deserves recognition as the greatest fighter of the
fight. Canelo saying that Crawford's a better fighter than Mayweather. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. But I think Crawford's a phenomenal fighter. The thing is with Crawford, and I was kind of goading him on this, and it's not his fault. His resume's not that impressive. Like I said to him, tell me your best win ever. This is what I said to him. And you know what he said? Ricky Burns. Right? Now, Ricky Burns is a great fighter. It's my guy. He's a 3-division world champion. But you can't say that he is, you know, like one of the greats. He's one of the greats of Scottish boxing. But if you're talking about one of the greatest pound-for-pound fighters of all time, it's not Terence's fault that he hasn't been able to get those fights. But a lot of the guys that he's fought have been done. You know, even arguably Ricky Burns at the time. You know, I know he went on to win other world championships, but he was kind of on the slide at that time. Kell Brook, Amir Khan, you know, Gamboa, you know, all of these guys. Who else did he beat? Ndongo, like Errol Spence, another example. Terence is brilliant, but he's never actually really had many notable victories. This would be it. I mean, this would be an incredible achievement. But I just feel like at the age that they're at, like, what is going to happen in this fight? And I just see I don't think Terence, because he shouldn't, is going to take that many chances in the fight. He needs to use his movement, use his footwork, which Canelo doesn't like, and win rounds. And Canelo doesn't really like to force a fight. When did you last see Canelo really trying to get a finish?
Carmel Martin recently reiterated that Floyd Mayweather will always be the GOAT. Even with the recent buzz surrounding Terence Crawford's dominance, Martin made it clear that Mayweather's immaculate record, ring IQ, defensive genius, and consistent supremacy across weight classes set a benchmark few can match. While he praised Crawford's performances, especially his win over Canelo, Martin emphasized that greatness is not defined by a single fight or moment. It is built on longevity, unblemished excellence, and the rare achievement of remaining undefeated at the top. In Martin's view, Crawford is undoubtedly elite, but Mayweather's legacy stands on a higher.
Where do you sit with this? Because 2 pound-for-pound greats of this era. Canelo, we see the resume. Crawford, you know, 2-time undisputed. Potentially this weekend becomes 3. I've said in a few interviews, is it skills pay the bills, or does a good big man beat a good little man? How do you see it?
I feel like the skills pay the bills, you know, and I feel like Crawford's not that much littler than Canelo. You know, we've seen in the face-off that they're around the same size. If not, Crawford look a little bigger than. Yeah, for sure. So, you know, really just, we're going to see tomorrow, you know, how it plays out. Whoever the better man is that night, I feel like will win. You know, I feel like it's even playing fields, and, you know, both guys coming ready, so we're just going to have to see.
If Terence does win this, a lot of people are saying that puts him as the greatest of all time. Now, I know it's hard because obviously you've been with Floyd, and a lot of people are saying Floyd is the greatest, but does that at least put him in that conversation with your Floyd Mayweathers, your Manny Pacquiao's, your Sugar Ray Leonard's, all the greats of the past, and obviously Canelo obviously as well, because he'll be there. Does that put him there?
Yeah, for sure. You know, of course, nobody will ever. I feel like Floyd will always be the greatest of all time.
Meanwhile, Terence Crawford responded to the frequent comparisons with Floyd Mayweather Jr., stressing that each fighter should be appreciated within the context of their own era. Crawford asserted that he is the greatest of his time, just as Mayweather was in his, and that drawing direct comparisons is unnecessary. This perspective highlights Crawford's confidence in his own accomplishments and his determination to carve out a legacy distinct from that of past legends. Following Crawford's historic victory over Canelo Alvarez, his longtime trainer Brian McIntyre made it clear that there would be no rush into another fight. Bomac emphasized that Crawford had just secured one of the biggest wins of his career and deserves time to rest rather than jump straight back into camp. After such an intense preparation and grueling 12 rounds, McIntyre stressed that recovery must be the priority. Instead of rushing to discuss future opponents, he suggested Crawford take a well-earned vacation to recharge both physically and mentally. In his view, proper rest is essential at this stage, allowing Crawford to fully enjoy his achievement before considering the next chapter in his already legendary.
You know what? We're going to get back in the gym. And we're going to assess that. And, you know, right now I just want him to go on vacation, have some fun, spend time with his family, man, because we trained for like probably a half a year for that fight. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of time spent away from home, a lot of time spent away from the family. So I just want him to just go get back home.
And what for you?
Yeah.
And for you? Hey, this is the thing.
Appreciate you.
What you saying about training a half a year?
We trained almost a half a year for that fight. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it was so sharp. You know, everybody.
In the gym, we're going to get back to work and assess things, Crawford's trainer Brian McIntyre said. But right now, I just wanted to go on vacation, have some fun, and spend time with his family. We trained for almost half a year for that fight, and that's a lot of time away from home. So I wanted to just get back, relax, and be with his loved ones. That's why he was so sharp, because we put in that work for months. Meanwhile, Bernie the Boxer, a close ally of Terence Crawford, voiced a strong critique following the Canelo fight, insisting that they tried to rob us. He argued that the scorecards failed to reflect Crawford's dominance, with several rounds judged too closely or unfairly. According to Bernie, Crawford dictated the pace, showcased superior fundamentals, and consistently outworked Canelo, yet the judges didn't reward those aspects properly. While Crawford still earned a unanimous decision, Bernie felt the margins on the scorecards were unjust. His frustration underscores how boxing's judging controversies continue to spark debate, even when the outcome appears to...
This is the second time you destroy every myth. Can he take your punch? Is he strong? Is this guy too strong? Man, he did everything. He did everything. Didn't he? Stood and fought with him. See how he
was in the pocket. Was in the pocket.
Turned him. Did everything. Talking about he too strong. Turned him a couple times. Pushed him. Crawford the best, man.
Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather brings a unique perspective to this matchup, having faced and defeated Canelo Alvarez back in 2013, when Canelo was still undefeated and on the rise. That victory remains one of the defining moments of Mayweather's legendary career, a masterclass in defensive brilliance and ring IQ. Now, years later, Mayweather has turned his attention to Terence Crawford, the man who just decisively conquered Canelo. By calling out Crawford, Mayweather has not only reignited excitement across the boxing world, but also reminded fans that he still views himself as capable of sharing the ring with the very...
Floyd Mayweather at what, dude, 23?
23.
That's so fucking young. And he was like, that was when he was probably at his prime,
in his
right?
prime, yeah.
Prime, and you were like 23. What was that like?
I trained so hard, and now obviously I try to beat him, because beat him. If you beat him, you wanna be the best in the world at 23. So imagine that. But he was the better man that night. A lot of experience. He's a great fighter. But I learned.
Do you think Floyd Mayweather calling out Terence Crawford could set the stage for one of the biggest fights in boxing history? Or should Money stay retired and let Crawford carry the torch? Share your thoughts in the comments.